Hi everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Here I will be uploading videos of ISC Class 11th and 12th History, and today's topic is of ISC Class 11th History Chapter 1, Growth of Nationalism. Here in this chapter we will study about the partition of Bengal, which you all know happened in 1905. What were the motives behind this, the anti-partition movement and the Swadeshi and boycott movement. The next topic of revolutionary nationalism will be covered in the next video. So first of all, before studying about the partition of Bengal, we must first get to know about Renaissance. As you have already studied in 10th grade, the word Renaissance is derived from a French word which means rebirth and revival. It was a cultural movement in Europe during the 14th to 17th century. However, in this chapter we will study about the Indian Renaissance of 19th century, which brought great reforms in religion by eradicating their evil practices. Indian Renaissance was influenced by Western thinkers and had three phases, and was significant in the birth of Indian nationalism. In the beginning, it only influenced literature, education, and thinking of the society, but later brought great reforms in religion and society. The important personalities supporting Indian Renaissance were, some of them were Surendranath Banerjee, also known as Rashtraguru, Mahadev Govind Ranade, who was one of the founding members of the Indian National Congress, Annie Besant, who became the first female president of INC, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, popularly known as the mentor of Mahatma Gandhi, Swami Vivekanand, known for his speech at Chicago in 1893, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, credited with the introduction of widow remarriage and girls' education, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, who is also known as the father of Indian Renaissance. Next, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, who was the composer of the national song Vande Mataram. Rabindranath Tagore, the composer of our national anthem, and also a Nobel Prize winner who wrote poems on Shivaji, Sikh Guru Banda, and Guru Gobind. First, let's get to know a bit about Raja Ram Mohan Roy, also known as the father of Indian Renaissance. First, we will study about the Press Ordinance of 1823, which was passed by the acting Governor General John Adams. So this ordinance was targeting the Indian language newspapers, or those newspapers edited by the Indians, and curbed the freedom of press. So according to this ordinance, all the matters to be printed in a press should be printed and published under a license from the Governor General in Council. However, this aimed just Indian language newspapers. Therefore, Raja Ram Mohan Roy was against this ordinance and tried to stop this by sending a memorial to the Supreme Court and submitting a petition to the King in Council in London. However, when all these attempts of his went futile, he stopped the publication of his journal Miratul Akhbar, which was started in 1822. Later, in 1835, a new Press Act was passed by which enabled the press to be more liberal. Next, we will study about the Jury Act of 1826. First, you should know what the word jury means. So, this means justice. This act was passed in 1826 and but however came into effect in the beginning of 1827. According to this act, every Hindu or Muslim was subject to trial by Christian jurists. But however, this was not the case vice versa. So, the act was a manifestation of the idea of religious superiority of the British government. By this act, they wanted to prove that they are religiously superior than the Indians. And this act also introduced religious distinction in judicial system of the country. And Raja Ram Mohan Roy opposed this flagrant injustice. The word flagrant means shocking or obvious. So this act was obviously discriminating against the Hindus and Muslims. His attempts of sending petitions to oppose this act was successful when this act was amended in 1832. Next, let's get to know about the political organizations which were being formed in the meantime in the society. So this topic is in this particular paragraph is important for your MCQ point of view, and it is important for your exams. First was the Landholders Society, formed in Bengal, Bihar and Orissa, which was formed in 1937. The Bombay Association and the Madras Native Association was formed in 1852, Indian League of Calcutta in 1875. And now this next particular topic is very important. So, the Indian National Congress was formed in Bombay in 1885 by A.O. Hume after a meeting of Indian National Conference at Calcutta in 1883. Congress was formed in Bombay in 1885. So next we will know about a bit about the Congress and its perspectives towards the British rule. Earlier, Congress was loyal to the British and supported their liberalism and justice. Even the government officials also attended the sessions of Congress. In 1886, during the second session at Kolkata, Lord Dufferin received some delegates as distinguished visitors to the capital and even entertained the delegates at a grand party. Delegates means representatives. The Congress leaders were known as moderates since they followed the policy of prayer and petition. However, later the political situation changed, and now we will see how Congress turned against the British. Now, Lord Curzon became the Viceroy of India, who had no respect for the Congress and their ideologies. He wanted to curb the power of Congress, and in this he was helped by the Secretary of State Lord George Hamilton. In 1899, he suggested three means to counteract Congress activities to Lord Curzon. So this George Hamilton suggested to Lord Curzon in 1889 through a letter to how to curb the Congress activities, how to counteract the Congress activities. The first way was to find out among who among the princes and noblemen had subscribed to the Congress fund, and to let them know that government was aware of the fact. So they tried to stop the princes and noble people, the rich men, from subscribing to the Congress fund. And also the second way was to honor the people who were not who were not in Congress. And also the third way was to exercise control over education organizations like colleges, and educational institutions and the books. Next, we will know about what all Lord Curzon did to suppress the power of Congress. First he brought the Municipality Act of 1899, which reduced the number of elected members in Calcutta Corporation. In this, he served the interest of the European business community. The next act he passed was the University Act of 1904, which was passed for the Calcutta University, and he used the pretext. He claimed to raise the standard of education. However, this act reduced the number of elected Senate members, who were mostly Indian, in Calcutta University. Next, this point is important. The Dawn Society was founded in 1902, which roused patriotic feelings among the youths. Here it's Dawn. I have mistakenly written it down. Now we will come to the main topic, that is, what was the scheme of partition, how and when partition took place. So earlier, the Presidency of Bengal originally comprised of the whole Bihar, Orissa and Assam, apart from Bengal itself. So Bengal was always a part of the Presidency of Bengal, but it also included Bihar, Orissa and Assam, the whole Bihar, Orissa and Assam. So the British authority decided to reduce the size of the province for administrative convenience. The province was very large, so they were having a problem in administering it efficiently, so they decided to reduce the size, and in this process Assam was separated in 1874 and Sylhet was added to it. Sylhet was a Bengali speaking area and it was added to Assam. In 1903, Risley, who was the Secretary of Home Department of the Government of India, drafted a plan for the partition of Bengal. This might be important for your MCQs, that who drafted, it might come in like who drafted a plan for the partition of Bengal, or in which year this plan was drafted. Lord Curzon favored this plan. It is important for you to know that the Lieutenant Governor of Bengal at that time was Sir Andrew Fraser. Now coming back to the topic, Lord Curzon favored the Risley's plan, and he toured Assam and Bengal to gain the support of Muslims for implementation of the plan. Next, we will see how the British civilians justified the partition plan. So, in points, we will discuss one by one. First, they gave the reason that it was too large, the population of the province was too large to be administered efficiently. As we already discussed, that the area was large and the population was also much more, and it was too large for them to be administered efficiently. The distance of East Bengal from so administrative headquarters were in Calcutta, and its distance from East Bengal was a lot, and so this became difficult for British. And next was the cost of tea transportation from Assam to Calcutta. As you all know, Assam is known for its tea, and earlier by this time railways were introduced in India, but the transportation from Assam to Calcutta was very expensive by rail. Next reason was the Muslims of East Bengal was deprived of proper educational and employment opportunities, since the West Bengal was dominated by Hindus. Here, if partition was implemented, they will get a separate high court, separate university. If the partition was implemented, they will get East Bengal, which is now Bangladesh. You all know Bangladesh, it is now Bangladesh. So if this partition was implemented, they will get a separate high court. They will have a separate high court of their own, a new university, and a new capital, Dhaka. It is the present day capital of Bangladesh. Lord Curzon was convinced to use the plan of partition to throttle the voice of the nationalist. So Lord Curzon wanted this partition to break the unity and so Lord Curzon wanted to silence the voice of the nationalist, since Bengal was a very big province, and because of their unity was a threat to British. Therefore, on July 20, 1905, it is an important date, you must remember, Lord Curzon announced the division of the province of Bengal into two provinces. So the partition was announced in two provinces. The first one was Bengal, and next was Eastern Bengal and Assam. In Bengal comprised of the Bengal proper, which is currently the West Bengal, Bihar and Orissa, and its capital was Calcutta. The Eastern Bengal and Assam comprised of Dhaka, Rajshahi, Chittagong divisions, the districts of Malda, Hill Tipra, and the province of Assam. And its capital was chosen to be Dhaka, which I already told you is the present day capital of Bangladesh. Now finally this scheme of partition was implemented on 16th of October 1905. Next topic, we will study about what were the actual motives of British behind this partition. And as we already studied, the objective of partition was for administrative convenience. However, the main intention was also to create a gulf between Hindus and the Muslims of Bengal. Lord Curzon was determined to hurt the Bengali speaking people who took the lead in the national movement. So he wanted to silence their voice and wanted to hurt their. Now let's know about some of the reasons for this partition point wise. So according to Lord Curzon, Bengal was the most vulnerable point of the entire British Empire, since it was very large in size. And Lord Curzon's, as we have already studied, that Lord Curzon's main intention was to crush the power of Congress, and for this he decided to crush the nationalist solidarity of Bengal. Since Bengal was very large in size as well as population, so he decided to target Bengal for his intention of crushing the power of Congress. According to him, Bengal united is a power. Bengal divided will pull in several different ways. This is a quote that he said. The next reason was territorial readjustments. So he wanted that territorial readjustments should be made in such a way that Bengalis suffer both physical and mental division. And also he wanted to degrade the importance of Calcutta, since Calcutta was the nerve center of anti-British Indian nationalism. Calcutta, the nerve center of anti-British Indian nationalism. Bengalis considered themselves as a great nation due to their wealth of vernacular literature. Vernacular means some in regional. Vernacular, the word vernacular means regional. So their pride, so Lord Curzon wanted to crush their pride. They took great pride in the University of Calcutta and political radicalism. So according to Lord Curzon, if Bengal is divided, then Bengali nationalism will reduce automatically. The third reason was that Lord Curzon wanted to take away the territories where Muslims were dominant and join those territories with Assam to form a new province. And Dhaka was the capital of the new province as per the Muslim interests. Next, we will study about the Cambridge view of the partition. Cambridge view about the partition. I know this is not a part of your syllabus, but since it's given in your book, I will give a short explanation about this. This is the last topic of today, and the next topics will be covered in the next video, which I will be uploading soon. So the Cambridge School of Historians had this interpretation that the opposition for the partition scheme came from the elitist interest group. According to them, the partition was completely for administrative reasons and there was no political move in this. However, the rationalist historians had different view. According to them, the partition was done to crush the unity of Bengal, and the next reason was that they wanted to make the Bengali speaking people a minority under the Hindi speaking people of Bihar and Oriya speaking people of Orissa. So if the Bengal is partitioned, the Bengali speaking population would become a minority in West Bengal under Bihar and Orissa. And Lord Curzon had used the Muslim community in his political game, and he had encouraged the Nawab of Dhaka by bribing him to to support the partition movement. And also idealism had a great place in the protest against partition. Now that's it for today's video. If you like this video, do comment below. Do comment below if this was helpful.